Welcome to Bear With Us, the podcast where two women bravely explore the High Line.
One charming town and quirky event at a time.
We're here for the people, the stories, and the small moments that make this place special.
And don't worry, zero bears.
Probably.
Welcome back to Bear With Us, the podcast from Bear Paw Development, where we explore the people, places, and projects shaping North Central Montana.
Today, we're diving into something a little different and a little fun. Havre recently unveiled its new community brand, and if you were there, you know the room was buzzing with excitement, curiosity, and a whole lot of hometown pride.
As part of the celebration, guests filled out index cards responding to a handful of Havre prompts, sharing memories, stories, and what this community means to them. And who better to help us sift through those responses than someone who keeps her finger on the pulse of Havre every day?
We are thrilled to welcome Karina Densmore, Havre community member and operator of the Havre Local Facebook page, where she showcases the people, flavors, events, and quirks that make our town special.
Karina's here to talk about the brand unveiling, what she's hearing from the community, and of course, to help us read and react to all those heartfelt, funny, and downright creative index card responses.
Karina, welcome to Bear With Us.
Hi, I'm happy to be here.
We're so excited that you're here.
So obviously, we do need to open this conversation with a very important question. Which bear species do you think would be the most active on Facebook?
Oh, good grief. I wonder what would be the most social bear. Maybe the black bear? Because they tend to be...
They're not afraid of humans.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they are, but...
I spent some time working in Yellowstone, and those tended to be the ones that were more likely to approach cars and get to know the guests. So
As somebody who did hit one with their car,
Oh,
can
you
confirm.
Oh, yikes.
They'd just be like adding everyone as a friend on
Yeah.
Facebook.
Putting a post out like, does anybody know where the good berries are?
Right?
Just met a really fun human today. 10 out
Looking
of
for a
10.
good picnic spot.
Watch out for the construction at Tower Pass.
I love it. That's awesome. Okay, so how long have you lived in Havre? Because you're not from here. So can you tell us about what brought you here and just kind of
Little rundown of
little
yourself.
rundown?
Okay, so I moved to Havre in May of 2019. I am one of the railroad transplants, so my husband works for BNSF. I do have a little tiny tidbit of Havre in my family tree. So my great-grandmother was on the 1920 Havre census, and she lived at 234 3rd Avenue, according to census records, which is where the Atrium parking lot is. And there were, I think, 3 other families in the building. So there must have been some kind of apartment or multi-family home there. So she lived there with her first husband, who was a candy maker. So
What a fun.
I want to be a candy maker.
Right? My daughter's obsessed with Willy Wonka right now, so I get to hear all of those songs.
oh boy.
She even wants us to get a dog and name it Charlie. I'm like, all
Cute.
right.
Yeah, so I have a little tiny bit of Havre in my history. I grew up in Texas. My family was military, but my mom's side is from Helena, and my dad has a little bit of Montana interspersed throughout his family tree as well. So even though I didn't grow up here, I've always had Montana in my heart, and I am so glad that I landed in Havre. So
Well, we're glad you did too.
Right.
So-
So tell us about your professional background and what kind of inspired you to create Havre Local.
Okay, so my degrees are in hospitality and retail management. So I've always kind of been focused on what brings tourists to areas or what brings people to commercial areas, just as from a business perspective. I have worked in Yellowstone in the food and beverage capacity, park-wide support for food and beverage. And then I worked for Cisco for a couple years as a rep. And that job did actually bring me up to Havre a couple times to assist the rep that was up here. And then I worked at North 40's corporate office for a short term. And then my husband and I welcomed our first son and decided we could not live split Havre and Great Falls. So we moved up here permanently and set down roots. Now I work for a glamping company remotely based out of Belgrade called Under Canvas, which also has Havre roots, coincidentally. Not many people know this, but the Duseks were, yep, a little bit like 40 miles north of town. They had an outfit called Sage Safaris, which was kind of a safari glamping type outfitter. And that little outfit eventually grew into what is now a very large glamping operation. We've got something like 15 locations across the US from Columbia River Gorge in Washington all the way to Acadia, Maine. So I help with the accounting operations for Under Canvas, and I love it. And yeah, so that's
That's such a fun job.
I know. I love that. Under Canvas.
Do you get discounts on glamping?
there's a there's an employee discount, and then there's friends and family discount. So yeah.
Whoa.
Sarah and I
Funny you
might be.
mentioned this.
I will say I have visited the Glacier and Paradise Valley locations personally, and they are both phenomenal. So I really love working for them. It's fun. Hard with little kids though. There's stoves, the wood burning stoves in the tents. So, but they are very family friendly. There's like cornhole on site and complimentary sports. This does not need to be an on-campus ad though.
No, that's just awesome. Super, super neat. And I think also just shows how deep your roots go in Montana and your love for Montana is. So
Oh yeah, I love Montana, and I have always felt a special connection on visits, up here as a kid. And once I finished my degrees, I was like, I'm moving up. I gotta be up there, and started out in Wyoming technically, but then was in Gardner for a while, and story goes on from there.
crazy. So why, like, what made you start the Havre Local Facebook page?
So originally during the pandemic, I was kind of wanting to figure out a way to keep the focus on Havre businesses. We were all kind of isolated. And I went and did interviews with businesses and organizations around town, to kind of just get to know. It was also a personal project because I wanted to get to know Havre a little bit better. And, so I went out and I interviewed the Eagles, Tom Farnham at the Eagles Club. I interviewed um, Christy over at Havre Beneath the Streets. I did First Lutheran Church, and I did Ben Franklin Crafts, and did a few profiles, but then kind of went a little dormant. COVID started to get a lot more intense here in Havre, so I decided it was best for everyone's health to just take a step back from that. And then I noticed something that I thought might be a need. One Halloween, there were like 20 different Halloween trunk or treats, and I could not keep them straight. And so I just created a list, and I put everything together and published it, and it took off. So
We thank you for this. Yeah. Because you're right. It's insane how many there are.
there are certain weekends in town that just tend to have a huge crush of events, and it's so hard to keep them all straight. So that's the kind of service that I do. I try to pull together those large weekend events. The chamber does a great job with the festival dates list, because that's their thing. But on the other holidays where there's a lot of events going on around town that may not necessarily all be chamber members, it's more community organizations or sometimes businesses and just different groups getting together. I try to bring that whole community assortment of events to one place so people can see, get the visibility, because they may not be following, for example, the Elks Club on Facebook, but they might be having an event that they'd be super interested in. So I try to bring everything to the forefront in a nice, organized manner so people can actually go out and participate in these community events. As a new person to Havre, I wanted to know how I could get involved. And that's my goal, is to help people get involved in the community.
I feel like there's so many really cool things, and that's something, we're going to talk a little bit about the brand, but that was something that came up so often from people, is that there are so many things in Havre that if you're not in the know, you will never hear about them, and you'll miss out on some amazing opportunities. So that is so nice to be able to just like have a list and be like, oh, well, there's actually 700 things that are going on this weekend. How long does that take you?
Yeah. Yeah. My big question is how?
Yeah, because you're just doing this
For
on the
funsies.
side.
Yeah, I do it just for fun. It's kind of just a community service. I kind of, if as I see things come across the feed, because I the Havre local, I've followed as many community organizations, businesses as I could find. I watch the Havre event or the Facebook events. I watch um, the Weekly Chronicle. I watch New Media Broadcaster site. I watch the Chamber event site, and I do my best to screenshot as many as I can, and I keep folders on my phone for kind of like, and so then I'll have screenshots that I can go through and kind of build off. I do try to verify and not post unverified events. I know there was some anxiety this Halloween because I didn't get the care center on, but they hadn't posted it officially. So I try not to add anything to a list unless it's been posted by the organization or somebody closely affiliated with the organization. Um, yeah, I don't want to put the wrong times out or, base it on a prior year's events and just assume that an organization's going to come up and do the same thing again because they may have something different planned or the budget may not always permit them to do it again. So I don't want to put it out there that they're doing it and set unrealistic expectations.
Easier to add to a list than to say,
Yes.
just kidding.
And
I
if you
go
watch,
up.
those lists do change. I will update the graphic with new events. So I just did the holiday happenings list and I have updated it maybe 4 times since I originally posted it with new events that have popped through where people have posted a comment stating, hey, this is happening too. So I've added a few other things like Matt Christmas was just posted after.
Oh my
And so I was
goodness.
like, oh, I got to get the Hill Country Christmas on there. So yeah, so I try to sneakily do that so it doesn't look too different, but yeah.
Well, speaking of Havre events, let's dive into the fun one that we just
Yes,
threw.
yes.
Yeah.
So for anybody who doesn't know, Bear Paw Development got it's a pilot community tourism grant. So the word tourism seems to be stuck to it, but really it's just a way to better Havre so that we
Yeah.
can make it better for the residents and potentially attract people to stop and see what we're about, because Havre's not just a pass through town. We got a lot going on, as you know. You're the one who kind of orchestrates all that.
Mhm.
And the first step that we had in that, Julie and I kind of managed that, but we hired a firm to do a rebrand of Havre. Havre's had some pretty historic taglines, not really a logo, like
Mm-mm.
the tagline has always been the logo. And we just felt the need to modernize it and kind of have a cohesive voice. And
Yeah.
so we did.
One of our upcoming projects that we're really excited about is that we are going to be implementing a whole bunch of wayfinding signage. We want to make sure that people are able to make their way around town easily, and we wanted to make sure that we had a brand so that all of that looked beautiful and cohesive. So that was kind of the beginning of it.
But it was our first real deliverable
Yeah,
from this
finally.
grant. We had poured our heart, sweat, and tears, and heavy on the tears into this project. We worked so hard. And we hired Windfall out of Missoula, and they came up with the brand. Um, and if anybody wants to Google it, they can see it. We've got stickers and things like that, but it's Havre Stay for the Story.
And I love that because there's so many different stories in the area, especially with Havre beneath the streets. Oh, they're the cool stories there, but then it also has that flip side where you can create your own story. So it's like, stay for the story. Just check it out. See what's
Yeah.
like, do it for the plot. I love it.
Do it for the plot.
I
like
love it.
that.
I love that tagline because it honors the history and the dedication that has gone to preserving the historical legacy of Havre. Yeah, kind of like helps pave the way for new chapters, and it's so awesome. I'm so glad to see that story, and I do love the old tagline. They're not going anywhere as
No.
Nope.
far as I'm concerned, or as far as I've heard. But
People are always going to say Havre has
Havre
it.
has it.
It's just how it's going to be. But in order to not to stop, but to grow Havre from just being a pass-through town on the way to Glacier. We don't want it just to be, oh, I'm going to stop in Havre and get gas. Get gas, but also check out one of our cool restaurants that we have. Check
Yeah.
out stay at a hotel and spend some time in our town. Just stay for a hot minute and see what we have to offer.
Yeah, get off the main drag, kind of check it out a bit.
Because we guarantee you're going to leave with your own story.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. That's for sure.
We hope it's a good one.
Yes, we're trying our best here. Um, so is there anything that you particularly like about the brand, or
Or
we can
even the
give you a
logo.
sticker so it can jog your
Oh,
memory.
I love the stickers. I put them on the Yetis around my house. Not this one for some reason. Oh, that's a
I have
BNSF
one.
so I do love the stay for the story, but then I also love that you implemented. I know that you can't see this on the podcast, but they do have the Bear Paw range. Bear's
Mhm.
Paw.
However
It's
people wanna
highly
say it.
contentious. The Bear Paw versus Bear's Paw or versus Bear Paws. It's like I'm
The
always
mountains in
afraid.
the south.
Yeah,
The
I'm team
mountains.
bear paws.
Yeah.
Same.
Because there's a lot of stories there too.
Oh my goodness.
And we have Rocky Boy and the Fort that all get kind of pulled into this Havre area. So I love that you honored that aspect of the community. Yeah.
When they showed us this, because we had a few options that we went through, they showed us this one, and Julie and I had this like guttural, almost emotional response to it immediately, and we were like, "Yep,
I don't
there
need
it
to
is."
see any more.
No,
That's good. Obviously, we did look at all of them.
Yes.
And then we did not make the decision. We brought it to our steering committee and then a couple other people. But what I loved about it is the Havre that is almost peeking up over the mountains, because I do love the sunrises and the sunsets that we get over here. I
Ugh.
think that they can just be absolutely beautiful.
I get to see the sunrises every day because I drive in from the west.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's blinding in my eyes, but it's so many times my daughter's like, "It's pink and it's
It's
orange."
Yeah.
The cotton candy skies. I love
Yes.
when
Oh,
yeah, and I love when there's a little trail up at Patterson Park where you can see so much of Havre, and it's you get some really great skies at that trail, and then I live close to MSU Northern, so we like to walk there, and you can get some really good sunsets there as well.
they're just so beautiful. I love going by the Border Patrol Hill at sunset and getting to see that sunset along the line there, and always cotton candy. It's so beautiful. Um, which obviously our colors are not cotton candy. They are kind of a dark tealy color and a nice green, an earthy green.
But you kind of get a feel of like the plains with it.
Yeah.
I like the green because it kind of brings together. You get the greens kind of that kind of green kind of around First Lake, and then the deeper greens at Second. But then you see like a lot of this in the Badlands north of town.
Oh yeah.
So I really like that.
I love it. And in our brand kit, there's a couple other more colors that can be used in conjunction with the logo. And one of them is our old maroon color. And it goes perfect with this.
Very
Because
complimentary.
Havre has always had that maroon color.
Well, I like it, and it brings in Northern.
It does.
You know,
Yeah.
I really love Northern and their commitment to community. You don't always see that in university towns. Sometimes the universities tend to be a little bit more insular and they don't necessarily welcome the community on the campus. Northern does such an amazing job of welcoming the community. Even recently, they posted um, seeking community input for the new Aurora complex on campus. And there were so many options there for like community hub and different like multi-generational spaces that really showed that they are committed to being more of a community hub because the student population is, I think, just over 1,000. So yeah, and so it's that space can be used for so much more. Like I love that the student population is there, but we also have to consider like the population or sorry, they have a lot of non-traditional students at MSU Northern, and so having a campus that is more welcoming to that type of student and where they feel like they can bring their families or kids or and for the more traditional college age students enjoy that space as well. I just really appreciate that they're considering that because coming from where I went to Texas Tech, the student population is 40,000. It's larger than Butte.
4 times Havre's population.
Yeah. And, Lubbock itself has over 200,000, but the campus is pretty much just geared towards students because they have to be able to accommodate those 40,000. Whereas MSU Northern, it's really a true community hub.
It's a part of the town.
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
is. And I feel like they've really put in the work, especially in the last 5 or 6 years, to really integrate back into the community. Because I think there was a little bit of a rift there for a little while. But really, in the last 5 or 6 years, I think in general, Havre has really been trying to come back together.
Well, that's when I moved here, so I must
Yes,
It was all you.
it was all you. You brought it together.
Well, no, I must have missed the prior tensions, but I really enjoy it. Like I said, I live close by there. I put on a bike rodeo last summer, and Northern very graciously allowed me to do a venue rental out there, so I was able to rent the courtyard and do the bike rodeo, and so major community event, and did it right there on campus, even though it wasn't necessarily geared toward the northern population. It was really fun to do, and I'm so glad that they allowed us to host out there.
They're awesome. Yeah, and so I'm glad that we're able to kind of give back and keep their colors in a little bit too in this brand, and I hope with our wayfinding signage and stuff that it will
It'll direct some
direct
traffic up
some
there.
traffic there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Exciting.
at the event, you were able to take some pictures, and you had a very delightful post about the party. I keep calling it an event. It was a party.
It
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, it
party.
was a good time.
Was it a party for you? I was stressed out.
After we were done and we got to eat the cake and the cookies,
Yeah.
then it was a party.
As
So
as an attendee, I had a blast
Good.
because I did not have the stress. I was just very excited to see the new brand and to hang out with other members of the community and kind of see who all was in attendance. And
there were so many people there. We're thinking
Yeah.
about like 150 people showed up.
yeah, it was a good sized event. I mean, we went well into the full event space. It wasn't everybody
Loved it.
huddled and
Thank you to Vix for
Oh,
allowing us to come
goodness.
into their space.
Their new space.
Yeah,
was
gorgeous.
Amazing.
some really cool artwork in there.
Yes.
So cool to
I'm
see.
so excited for them to open. I think that Kurt and Katie are doing a phenomenal job, and what they are building for this community is going to be so amazing.
Yes. But one of the things you got a couple really good pictures of is this activity we had. So we printed off index cards that have a prompt on them. There's a bunch of different prompts, and we encouraged people to finish the prompt or like provide a response. And then they pinned it to a board that we had there. And these cards are what we drew for door prizes. So we had a huge response. Could not believe how many cards we got in response to this. So we thought it would be fun. We were trying to figure out what to do with these. If we took some time during this episode to take turns kind of reading what we got.
Yeah, and we certainly don't have time to read all of them, but I think we can get through a good amount of them, and just see what everybody's responses were.
Love it. I love it.
Yes.
Can't wait to see. I will say that I personally had a lot of agony trying to write a response. I like to think through my response. So I am so excited to read these because other folks have, I feel, much better responses than I would have been able to come up with on the fly. Because
I feel like some people were able to take a look at it and they were like, "Oh, I know the answer to this in my book," and I'm like, I overthought it.
it's
I
like,
don't know.
how do
Some
I
of these
put
were
this
very
into
detailed.
words?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, because it's like, how do you put a feeling into words? It's just so great that I'm looking through a couple of these and I'm just like, man, this is so smart. I can't believe that. Well, I can believe it, but
I
Well,
already went through all of them because I put them in a spreadsheet. So I know that there are some repeats in here. I mean, obviously, there's some hot spots in Havre that
people just
that's
love.
yeah. But we'll jump right in. Do you want to read your first card? You can read the prompt and then tell us the response. And we won't read people's names.
we're not going to
Names are
put
a
people on
secret.
blast. What makes you proud to be from here and excited for what's next? My heritage, my friends, a good group of people who care, and I love that. Really, Havre, it's the people. I have felt nothing but welcome ever since moving to Havre. So I really love that one.
I like that a lot.
We're starting out with like 3 different prompts. I love it.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so my prompt here is if Havre were a book, what would the next chapter be called? And this person put old roots, new branches.
Ooh.
Oh, I love it.
That's so cool. I really like that. We truly are built on such a cool history and we have so much further to go.
That prompt was my favorite when I was going through all these to put them in the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
That one had some good ones, so I'm excited to read this one too. I always bring visitors to the Bear Paw Mountains. Yep, there's a few of these, so we're probably going to run into those.
Gotta love the bear paws. I have another I always bring visitors to, and I have Triple Dog Brewing and Jenny's Kitchen.
Those ones were repeats in there.
Both
Yeah.
mainstays. I will say I love the decor at Jenny's. My eyes never rest for long because I'm always looking at the next.
I know they did such an amazing job in there. Did not skimp on anything. I mean, they picked their theme and they went hard, and I love it. And their food.
So good.
Food is great.
Oh,
Atmosphere is
so good.
awesome.
And
Well-
Triple Dog, just the same. I mean, first of all, some of the best beer in Montana, I think.
Can confirm
Yeah, as Sarah can absolutely confirm
as
because
the
she has
completer
been.
of the passport. Triple Dog is in. It's always in our top. We like it.
Yeah, good atmosphere, great beer, good popcorn.
Community hub as well. They do a
Community
lot
hub.
of pint nights
Yep.
for the community, and they really do their best to support.
And they're just
Commu-
good people.
Yes.
We held a trivia night there because we hosted a conference,
Mhm.
and Triple Dog was the best to help us out with this. We had a trivia night. They just like shut the place down to us, and it was just economic developers from all over the state.
And people still talk
It
about
was
it.
so much fun.
Yeah. It was so great.
Trendsetters. Love it.
Trendsetters. Okay, I have another prompt here. You know you're from Havre when home feels like home. I think that's very true.
I have the same prompt. You know, you're from Havre when you say hello to everyone you meet.
Yep.
Yeah,
I feel a
that's
little
true.
offended when someone doesn't want to like smile and wave at me.
The wave. Okay, so
The
I did not
steering
grow
wheel
up-
wave or
yes,
the yeah,
steering wheel wave. And my husband will do it on the highway.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
we'll be on the highway and he's just doing that, and I'm like, "Do you think they can see you? What's happening here?"
So that is something that I'm not accustomed to, and I have had people call me out and say, "I was waving at you at the intersection of 5th and 10th. You didn't," and I was like, "What?"
Honk at me.
I'm not looking. I'm looking at the vehicles, but I'm not looking at the drivers of the vehicles, and so I'm like, was I supposed to be now I need to look out for the waves, but then I'm just like afraid I'm gonna miss another distraction because I've usually got kids in the back, and I'm like, oh no, I missed a wave. But I do try to wave on the highway when there's less.
I don't do the finger wave in town. My grandfather does. Every single person he sees, he's like, "Hey, hey." The 3 finger wave, basically. It's
Yes.
your thumb, your pointer finger, middle finger. Like, he'll do that to just about everybody. I don't do that anywhere except for when I'm on like back roads or dirt roads and you pass somebody. Like,
I feel like
I
if
need
you
to give them the wave, so they're like, she's cool. She's not a
If
murderer.
you don't do it on a back road, it's suspicious. You're like,
Right.
what are you
Probably
doing
hiding a
here?
body.
Oh God. The sordid history of Havre.
Sordid history.
Who knew a wave could cause so much
They
distress?
didn't wait.
Honestly.
One of them out of towner.
All right, what do you got?
Okay. I always bring visitors to Havre beneath the streets. Did we already have?
There's a few Havre beneath the streets in here. We're gonna have some repeats.
They are such a fun experience. I know you've had spoken at length about Havre. I mean, because you had Christy on.
Yes,
So,
we did have Christy on.
So this an awesome
We love-
experience.
We're huge
Huge
fans.
Beneath the Streets fans. I need to take the tour when they get it reopened
Oh,
all
I'm
the
so
way.
excited for that.
Yeah. Okay, what makes you proud to be from here and excited for what's next? This is a long one. I'm pleased and proud we managed to elect new people in our city government and get new ideas and philosophies. I like that.
Yeah.
I think that our city government has been pretty good about, stepping down when they feel
But they're
like
done.
they're done, you know. There's a few old timers that have stuck around in our city politics, but for the most part, I think that people have done a good job of saying, you know what, I think someone else needs to take over. I think someone else would do a better job at this point.
Or just a new, fresh perspective.
Yeah, or just to say, hey, I'm not passionate about this anymore. I
Burnout is real.
should not be here if I'm not passionate about
Yeah.
it. So
No, and yeah, we have zero issues.
yeah,
We enjoy them.
City,
yeah.
city government is one of those things where, s- sometimes you can build on the experience of long-term members of legislative bodies, for example, but it's also so great to see new perspectives and ensure that representation is there for the entire community. You want to make sure that everybody has a voice, and it's so great to see. I like to see a good amount of turnover with maybe a couple stayovers to make sure that all of the legislative rules and standards are still adhered to, because you do need to have levels of experience in that type of position. But it is so great to see more people getting involved in community politics and um, engaging in new fresh perspectives.
I think that nothing bothers me more than when someone has been either in city government or on some type of a board for so long, and you bring a new idea to them and they say, we tried that 25 years ago and it didn't work, so we're not going to try it again. I don't believe in that.
It's not 25 years
no,
ago.
it's 25 years later. So I think that maybe we could take a new perspective and try again. 25 years ago, they tried to get a TIF district passed. Didn't work. Guess what passed last night? TIF district.
It
Guess what
passed?
we did?
Oh, I'm so
Yeah.
excited. I was just listening to the TIF District podcast and I wasn't sure, like I hadn't heard the news yet whether it had passed.
It
So that's
passed last
exciting.
night. So I think that there just is some merit to new blood coming in and electing the people that we feel will represent our community best.
And outside of city government, even like the champions of the community.
Yeah, 100%.
Step up. Let's get new
Mhm.
perspectives. We're all about it.
Yeah. If you don't like my ideas, time for you to try.
Yeah. And it's not even new blood always. It's maybe opinions that you might not have heard from old blood.
Yeah.
So folks that haven't necessarily spoken up or voiced their opinions in the past maybe now feel a little bit more emboldened to speak out, which is so exciting. You never want a member of the community to feel passed over or looked over. Everybody's opinion counts, and it is so cool to see just more people getting involved, regardless of whether they're new to Havre, have been here for generations. It is so cool to see just interest in making a difference and growth as a path forward.
Mhm. I think that even when we have different ideas on how to improve something, the spirit of it is the same, and I think we can find community in that.
Yeah, finding the common thread.
Yeah.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
want to make things better.
Yeah.
and
We like pretty things. Oh, this
Things that work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This card is definitely something that I think could change for Havre for the better. Um, you're from Havre when you stock up on DQ so you have a supply from November to January.
I love
the
this.
truth behind that, though. I mean,
I have never been to a place where Dairy Queen closes down for the winter, and I get it, but also like sometimes I want some ice cream, and there's other delightful places here to get ice cream. So
I'm going to be 100% honest with you. The time that I want ice cream the most is the winter.
yes,
I don't know why. It just is summertime. I don't feel like eating ice cream as much. I mean, I'll eat popsicles all year round, but ice cream not as much. And so I'm like, oh, it's December. It's time for some ice cream. I'm like, Dairy Queen.
thank
Curse
goodness for
you.
like Creative Yogurt and Grams, and
Mhm.
there's other places that are
You can get your fix in
Yeah.
town.
Yeah.
Yep. But I think
still
it's
so weird to me.
it's kind of part of that. Like, we're still small town enough that like our Dairy Queen closes for the winter. Like, it's kind of cute. I don't
I
know.
love it.
Very quaint.
My time as a Cisco rep, I had Conrad and Shelby on my routes, and their drive-ins close seasonally. So Or they did at that point in time. I think one of them has changed ownership, so I don't know what their plan is anymore or at current. But yeah, it was always like, okay, when are we gonna get geared up for opening? And it was always such a big deal when they. Same with the Sugar Shack out in Rudyard. I mean, when they open for the
Yes.
season, it is like newsworthy, and I love that small town feel about having the
It makes
drive.
it a bit more of a luxury.
It is, and they need a break too because they are just nonstop a lot of time, especially in the summer with baseball leagues coming in. That Dairy Queen after baseball gets
Soccer
out.
season.
Oh yeah,
And when soccer season and baseball season are overlapping.
yeah. There's always teams. There's always like a plethora of jerseys, and then you get that after school crush too. There's always kids after Sunnyside gets out walking down that way.
But something like that, like some unique thing, it does stay with you as you grow older. Like, I didn't grow up in Havre either. But I grew up in the town. This is kind of a strange, if you Google it, it's a true story. My hometown has the very first Burger King. So we have the original Burger King. And then the franchise happened, and the Burger King in my hometown sued the franchise and won. So there can't be a Burger King chain. I think it's within 30 or 50 miles of my hometown. And we still have the original Burger
The
King,
OGBK.
OGBK. And I remember after every softball game or, anything, we would go get ice cream there. And my husband and I were just back in my hometown this summer, and I had to take him to get it. But they put these little sugar eyeballs on their ice cream cones. And
I love it.
was thoroughly creeped out. But I was just like overwhelmed with nostalgia. Like,
I love that.
yeah, like you have that local spot that
Yeah.
you definitely do that at. And,
Mhm.
more years later than I'm willing to admit, I still think about that. So
Still want eyeballs on my ice cream.
sometimes you just got to have the eyeballs on your ice cream.
Yeah.
It's a core memory.
I think maybe I'm gonna go into hibernation for like 4 months out of the year, and then people will enjoy me more too.
Yeah.
Oh,
absence absence makes the heart grow fonder,
Yeah,
Julia.
there you go.
and me more pleasant.
It's like just when you thought I was gone forever.
I
Here I am.
have emerged. I'm back. All right, what do you got?
Okay, I love this one. What makes Havre feel like home? Church luncheons, bar hopping, high-speed chases, whoa, and good times hitting mailboxes with your friend's car. Oh boy,
Somebody has an interesting life here.
I love
that makes me glad to
started out
live.
with
Church luncheons, but then quickly devolves into a
Large
debauchery.
spectrum.
I have so many questions.
I have never been more glad to live in the historic district where our mailboxes are attached to our homes. Or maybe that is not a good thing. I don't know. Maybe if they
No,
are
that
hitting
would be a good
mailboxes because
thing.
I don't want them to come up to my house. but-
Our mailbox is not attached to our house. When I was in high school, because I am from here, I got in a truck with one of my friend's boyfriends, and he rounded a corner on an icy day and took out, I'm pretty sure it was on purpose, fully took out a mailbox and then just kept going.
My parents have a brick mailbox back in Texas, and it has been taken out twice. Once by
A
a
brick one?
yeah, once by a driver that lost control of her vehicle, and once by a mailman. The U.S. Postal Service actually does cover damages in that case.
Wow.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't have a mailbox. I live in Rudyard. I have a P.O. box.
There you go. That's what it was like in Gardner too. You just
Yeah.
kind of had to stop on your way home from work.
Goodness.
I mean, my brother took out a mailbox on his bike on accident.
You just got to get that like really deep reinforced concrete post like down.
Yeah.
Like
Well, he got distracted. He was across the street from us. He was riding his bike, and my husband and I were sitting outside in the summer, and he waves at us, and we said, "Oh, hi." And he didn't hear what we said, so he goes, "What?" And then immediately hits the post of the mailbox with his tire and flew over the mailbox, took it out, and like rolled, and then just got up. And I was like, "Are you good?" And he's like, "I'm good." And then
I'm
just
good.
rode off. And I was like, "No."
I think you were unwell.
Anyways, my parents replaced the mailbox, and they put a little decal on there of a boy riding his bike falling into the mailbox. It was cute.
That one's a bit of a repeat,
This
isn't
is
it?
a repeat. I will.
I know, I'm, like, kinda going through these to find ones that aren't.
Ooh, this is cute. What makes you proud to be from here and excited for what's next? Third generation, and at least 3 more.
That is a
So
yeah.
they're a third generation and they have 3 more generations after them here.
So many people around here know I happen to know that my husband is a 5th generation on the it's crazy how families just, like,
Yeah,
stick around here, and
it's
they take
crazy.
so much pride in it. That's a good one.
They do.
Um, oh, this one. Yep. You know you're from Havre when you can pronounce it correctly.
Speaking of pronouncing correctly, I am awful at pronunciation on this one. Is it
Yeah.
Wakpachugan?
Wakpachugan?
Wakpachugan buffalo jump. I've always wondered how to pronounce it. I see it on signs, but that's another I will always bring visitors to.
It's such a
Um,
cool thing.
that is
That is
such
really awesome.
it's an amazing, you know,
The history of it.
yeah, geological features. I mean, it's just a cool thing to check out around town. It is on the little the intro to Stay for the Story. It's on this
Yes, it
come
is.
for
It
and
is.
all the different locations in Havre that you come for.
Once upon a time, we do a team building activity here at Bear Paw once a year. We take a day and do something a little silly. Last year we played pickleball.
Hmm.
1 year we played golf. 2 years ago we went on a scavenger hunt and we split the staff into 2 teams, and then we had to make a scavenger hunt. Well, I was making the clues, and I thought it would be really funny to encrypt the clues.
It was not funny for the other team.
It was very funny.
As a member of the other team, it was
But I I had used like some sort of a code that kind of looked like Egyptian script or something,
awful.
and it was trying to lead them to Wakpachugan Buffalo Jump. Somehow they had no idea what I was talking about. They just thought, I think maybe it has something to do with a buffalo, and then took a picture in front of the buffalo, and I was like, "You know what? Close enough."
The buffalo at Town Square?
Like, yeah.
Okay, I was like, which buffalo? I mean, that's such a Montana thing where you're like, which buffalo? Because
There's so many buffaloes.
just south of us in Great Falls, there are.
We did figure it out
So
eventually,
funny.
though.
Yeah.
We got to the buffalo jump. But to be fair, the way that it's spelled is the second word is CHUG''N. So when I was trying to decipher it, I was like, that's clearly going to be a T or an S.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't it be? You know, like when
Different
you're trying
language.
to- what else? You know, and
Because that is how English works.
yeah, and
Joke's on you.
you made us decipher a word that's not uh typical, like, and so that's why it was so confusing.
But you still got it, and that was what was crazy to me, and you were able to get on to the next clue. It just killed me.
yeah, that was a tough one.
Got to know a little bit of the local language, right?
Yeah.
So growing up in San Antonio, there were a lot of streets that had names in Spanish. And so you kind of get a little bit of that in here. I love that you see more of what is the language of is it Cree? Cree? And you're something I appreciate. My son there's an indigenous education program, and that's not something I experienced growing up in Texas. And it is so cool. And I think it's actually like in the state constitution or an amendment to the constitution that um that education program be in the schools and that our students learn about the native cultures in our area. And I really, really appreciate that.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah.
But that, I mean, I think it's the most well preserved buffalo jump that there is, or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is so
I didn't know
cool, and
buffalo jumps were a thing until I moved to Montana, and I'm like, that's fascinating.
I know that they're raising money right now to do some renovations.
They need to do the
too.
steps.
The
Yeah.
steps, there's steps out there that I think need.
I think we have time for 2 more.
Oh, now can we each read one more? 'Cause
Sure, let's each read one more. Oh, I got one. You know you're from Havre when you talk about the ugly burger.
Aha, the ugly burger.
I love an ugly burger.
I'm gonna see, I have so many of these this one's funny. I feel like I've just got the funny ones. Oh, but I like this one too. Okay, I'm going to do 2 because it has the same prompt. So you know you're from Havre when the first one is you talk about the blue ponies.
Yep.
And we've talked about in our previous episodes how I too had a strange mascot in high school. So um, blue ponies are kind of a funny one.
I love it. There's some unicorns in Texas.
Oh,
My
Yes.
sister's kids are unicorns, and
I
I
want to
think
be
that's pretty
fun.
interesting.
But then I
odd
have
mascot.
you know you're from Havre when your car won't start in January.
Yeah.
Oh boy, yeah.
My
You got to plug it in early.
My car does not have a plug-in.
You need one.
It has a thing where I can plug it in, but it has to have an adapter, and I don't want to pay $120 for it because that is dumb.
Well, let's see how dumb it feels when your car won't start.
But even though my husband plugs his truck in the dead of winter in February when it is -50 outside for like 2 weeks, he will wake up at like 3 a.m. and go start the vehicles.
You know what? You're up the hill a bit out of the lowlands, and I'd imagine it gets a bit colder up there in the wind.
The wind is cold.
Oh, we get snow drifts in our driveway so bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not good.
She cold. What do you
Yeah,
got?
I got a really good one. If Havre were a book, what would the next chapter be called? And it's Sunrise Kayaking at Second Lake with a cup of coffee. I have spoken with Julie about this briefly. We got kayaks, and I haven't used them in the area yet.
You
we
have to.
we have kayaks and stand-up paddleboards, and I have used them at my grandparents' cabin in near Holland Lake in Sealy, but yet to take them out in Havre, and I now need to go to Second Lake with a cup of coffee. We got them in August of last year, and at that point, the blue algae had kind of come in. So I'm hoping I can get out there early next season and actually.
It's so fun to go along the shoreline, and you can get into all the little alcoves, and it's
Mhm.
so quiet in there, and you can see turtles.
I love the turtles. I love the pelicans are a little unnerving. They're so
They're
big.
You
so
can't
fun,
get
though.
close to them.
No,
They'll skedaddle.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw like 3 beavers.
Oh,
last
man.
year.
Yeah.
Are beavers aggressive like otters?
If you get too close to them,
Like if you were to hit them with your paddle, they probably wouldn't be happy. I've seen a ton of them, and I've never had an issue with them.
and don't go near their dam.
Okay.
They get a little territorial.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do my best.
You just kind of see them like across the lake.
Yeah. You'll like see their little tails.
I
come
love the
up.
little ripples that the beavers cause in the water.
Yes!
That kind of tail.
Mhm.
Especially when it hits like 6 p.m. and the water gets completely still,
Mm.
and then you'll just see like little ripples.
You see
I
a
think we
fish
need
jump
to
and
take
you
a
hear.
kayaking trip this summer. All of us. to
Yes,
Second
that
Lake.
would be
that would be so
amazing.
I love
fun.
kayaking Second
Me
Lake.
too.
I
Me too.
need to get out there because it's a completely new thing for our family. It was kind of a trial this past summer, and so I'm ready. I'm
I
ready to give it a
paddleboarded there
shot.
too.
Okay, so I am very nervous. I can sit on the paddleboard, but I only tried standing on it a couple times. I think I need to do some core classes over the winter to
Oh, yeah.
to prepare myself.
But it's so calm. Like
Yeah.
Second Lake doesn't get really like wavy.
Mhm.
So that's my ideal place to paddleboard.
And it's just not deep.
No.
Like
So if you fall in,
you're
pretty
gonna
safe.
be fine.
Long
You're gonna
as-
touch seaweed or like algae, and it's gross.
Yeah.
But you're gonna be fine.
I'm excited. I'll have to check it out. That's another thing I do love about this area. There are so many opportunities for outdoor recreation. We take the kids out to Second Lake to fish or to just throw rocks in the water. We love the Rotary campground as well because there's the little fun bridge and little creek bend where they can kind of check things out, and the disc golf courses out there. A lot of people don't know there's a disc golf course at Rotary Campground in Beaver Creek, but we do have the one on campus as well. So yeah, it's like, okay, what's a walk and what's a hike?
Struggle with
Right.
the hiking out there, and I know it's ridiculous, but there's so many snakes, and I am so horrified of them. And my husband's always like, "It's not a rattlesnake; it's a bull snake." I am not stopping to exchange pleasantries with that thing. It is a snake, and
I'm
I
not
don't want to be
asking
near it.
its name.
My husband hates snakes too. I'm always so. A lot of people, there's a childhood classic book called Blueberries for Sal, and it's about a bear on one side of a hill, and the mom is picking blueberries with Sal, her child, and there's a mama bear and a baby bear on the other side of the hill. And every time I Mount Otis, I think of that, and I'm like, what if there's a black bear on the other side?
There could be.
Looking for berries, and then we're gonna somehow have this weird twist of fate exchange of children, like in the book.
Exchange of children.
They kind of realize, oh, the baby's with. I don't know.
Oh my god!
So the little boy or the little child is picking up the blueberries and plunking them in the can, and looks up, and the mama bear's there, and the.
I've never heard this story.
Oh, it's called Blueberries for Sal.
It sounds a little traumatizing.
Yeah.
They go blueberry picking on the hill, and they each think that their child is behind them, and their children have kind of wandered off on their own, and so then they're like, oh, "Where's my baby? You're not my baby!" And then they kind of meander back and find each other, and all is well. But it makes me very nervous because I'm afraid, oh, this is like Mount Otis. And I'm going to turn around and there's going to be a bear cub and not my child.
My biggest fear when we're on a hike is that my child is going to be like, I'm done.
Right in the middle of it.
And then I have to carry her. Because I can't do that.
That's not an option anymore.
No.
I have one that's in that phase right now. Also a runner. So he'll run the opposite direction. I'm like, okay, good. Where are we going?
I can't keep up with you. They're too fast.
Doing this.
Well, Karina, thank you so much for joining us and helping bring these community voices to life. It's always amazing to see just how much pride and heart people have for Havre.
And a big thanks to everyone who came to our brand unveiling, filled out the index cards, or has been cheering this process on from the sidelines. Your stories are what make this community, well, Havre.
If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to follow the Havre local page and stay connected with all the great things happening around town. Thanks to Karina.
We will be back soon with more conversations about the people and the projects shaping North Central Montana. And as always, thanks for bearing with us.